Hello, welcome. This is my video blog for polyphonic.org on campus. I am JG Miller, and we're going to be doing a bunch of these. And for those of you who are watching, thumbs up. You made it this far. You're watching me on video. Don't know why, but probably because you're interested in some kind of career in music. And we're told, usually sometimes we get these premises where they'll tell us, well, talk about this a little bit. Since this is the first one, we're told to talk about ourselves and blah, 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 blah. Just kind of some background stuff about me. I was born in Colorado. I lived there. I lived in Missouri. I lived in Pennsylvania. I lived kind of all over the place. I live in California now. I live in Los Angeles. It's a beautiful city. I can see why so many people live here because the weather is 75 and sunny year-round. And after having lived in Rochester, New York for 7 years, as much as I loved going to school there in my undergrad, it's a school that's very conducive to practicing. Anyway, I did my undergrad at Eastman School of Music, and I was originally a biochemistry and music performance double major. I come from a family of very, very, very heavily involved in the medical field, and I was originally pre-med, and I passed out of my freshman and sophomore science and math classes, so I decided I would take music seriously, and that was mainly from my teacher, Peter Curau, who's the horn professor there, who said, give a year of just focusing on one thing. Well, I decided after that year I dropped my pre-med and I added music education. So I was a double in music education and performance, and I was originally going to be a triple major for a while in conducting as well, but they didn't have the curriculum together in time, so as a result I just graduated with 2 degrees, a teacher certificate, performer certificate, and a lot of credits in conducting. I then didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went into a high school band for 2 years, and it was great. It was wonderful. It was also the first year that No Child Left Behind really took into action. And say what you will about the administration at the time, it was a project that had its heart in the right place, but was very, very poorly executed. So a lot of people didn't really know how to handle it. We didn't know what to do with it, and so it was very, very stressful for a first year, because nobody knew how these rules were going to affect, public schools. After a year and a half of that, I decided you have to get your master's degree. In order to keep your teaching certificate, you have to at least start having progress. Out of the blue, I got an offer from a person I knew who was, Danny Katzen, but I had never worked with him, I'd never met him, and he was starting a new program at the University of Arizona, which I attended there for my master's in performance and a concentration in chamber music. So I did 2 years with a great group of woodwind quintet down there. It was fantastic. I'm a horn player. I don't think I mentioned that. You'll probably notice by the ridiculously horn music that I've got going in the background, because I'm a nerd. But hey. Then I decided to, at the very, very strong recommendation of a very long friend of mine, we've been friends since for 10 years now, or at the time 10 years, and I moved out to Los Angeles, and I started a doctoral program in performance under Jim Thatcher, and then doctoral programs have multiple concentrations, so I also have concentrations in music industry with an emphasis in copyright law and music education, again, and collegiate pedagogy. So that's kind of the rundown. Now what do I do with all that? That's the kicker. I work in the office of the dean. That's one of my jobs. I freelance, I teach, I compose. I'm the vice president of a publishing company that I founded with a friend based out of Eldora, Iowa. Yeah, I try to keep things busy, and I try to never ever get bored, because it's really easy to just bang your head against a practice wall for hours and hours and hours and hours at a time, and it just seems like you're not going anywhere. So I think an important thing to remember that kept me going was that there's more to music than just mastering your instrument. and you're going to hear a lot of that kind of stuff. And there's more to music than just being at a music school. One of the big things I strongly advocate is have a hobby. And for me, one of my favorite hobbies is paintball. This is not a gun. It's a paintball gun. So it's kind of a gun, but it's not meant to kill people. It's just meant to shoot people who are wearing equipment. And fewer people, actually statistically speaking, fewer people get hurt playing paintball per year than playing tennis. So kind of crunch that up. And that's a statistic. I'm sure you're probably going to try to check that Google fact out now. But it is. So that's kind of the intro. Like I said, we'll see where this goes from here. I'm excited. I'm glad that you're watching, and I hope you all have a great time, and take it easy.